Hello, everybody. What's going on? If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Hey, hey, hey. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is Audria Richmond in the building. My little hair just keeps sticking up. Oh, well. Y'all just got to deal with it. So, anyway, let me know in the chat if you all can hear me. Let me pull up my comments real quick so I can see everything. I need to buy this tool that I saw online. I need an extra screen. Okay, so let me see if we have any comments here. Let's see. Let me know in the chat if you all can hear me. Let me go to my phone because I don't know if you all are leaving comments or not. And then we're going to get into it. Let's see. Turn this down. Okay, perfect. Hey, hey, hey. Yes, okay, perfect. Y'all here. Oh, it's a lot of people here. Okay. Perfect, 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 perfect. Welcome, everyone. Hey. Welcome, 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 everyone. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's get into today's content. We gonna talk for a while, so if you got somewhere to go, you might want to go ahead and come back and watch us on the replay because this is not gonna be a fast live stream. I want to take my time, and talk about a lot of the changes we've made as an organization, things I've learned after being in this online space for 11 years, going on 12. Next year will be 12 years of running my business online. My very first sale online was April 18th, 2014. How do I know? I literally just found the receipt from that transaction. I'm trying to see if I can show y'all without showing my client's information. Let me pull it up. Is there a way to show y'all this without showing you? Yep, I can do it. Boom. Okay, so look. Look. Hopefully y'all can see that. Can y'all see that? That's the first invoice I ever sent online, April 18, 2014, right? And I tell this story all the time about how this person found me and how my first client was in Singapore. And I shared like all of these details about that story. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you already know that story probably through and through. But if you're new here, basically what I was saying, whenever I tell that story, I always talk about how I kind of went from being a local person to a global person like overnight. My very first client was from Singapore. And it was life changing for me because up until that point, all of my clients came from Memphis. So when I came online, like instantly, I went from being just a local person who people use for photography or bought juice from, or maybe participated in some type of event, or somebody I did graphic design for, or built a website for, business cards for, and just kind of being really in that Memphis market. And as soon as I brought my business online, I was literally like, now I can serve the world. And to have clients in like multiple countries, to this day still do business with us. I think it's pretty cool to have a global brand and like be able to build a business online. So I love having an online. Let me just say this. I love having a brand that has a component that operates online. And the reason I'm saying it that way is because I think when you put the word online business on anything, you automatically kind of think of a certain amount of gurus. You think of a certain type of business model. You think about a certain personality types. You kind of think of certain things, right? Let me know if that makes sense. Just put yes or no in the chat. I want to make sure that makes sense. But I just want you all to know that everything that you see people doing online, they all work, right? Like I'm going to talk about it. I got three pages of notes. Okay. I got 3 pages of notes. So let me take a moment to introduce myself and then we're going to get into today's content. And if you all have any questions, you could throw them in the chat now. And when I get to the end, I will answer any questions that you all submit. But let me also say this. If I don't see any questions at the end, I'm jetting out. I'm not going to sit around and wait on questions to be asked and all of that. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me, especially about anything that I'm discussing, make sure that you put it in the chat. All right. So my name is Audria Richmond, and I am a brand and marketing strategist. What does it mean? Because I say it all the time and people don't know what a strategist is. That means that I can strategize, come up with ideas, come up with plans, come up with anything, strategize how to make money from it, how it's going to work, how it's going to operate in the world, how to leverage it. In addition to that, how do you take that and bring it into life, real life? Right? So for instance, if you come to me and you say, hey, I want to launch a licensing program, for an example, we can support you with that. Or if you're like, hey, I need help with publishing my first book. Okay, we can help you with that. If you need help with, coming up with your product suite or what you're going to sell and offer, we can help you with that. If you're trying to work on a really huge, big marketing campaign, we can help you with that. So when I say strategist, it's more so working with you first from the mind until we get our things into real life. So I consider myself kind of like a full length coach, if you will, because there's a lot of people who call themselves coaches that don't have a lot of background in the things that they coach on, right? So for instance, you can find somebody who knows business, but they may not know how to build a brand, or they may not know brand identity, or they may not know how a lot of the creative stuff works. And that's one of the reasons why I tend to attract a lot of creatives, because not only do I know how to run a business operationally and more strategically, I also know how to be extremely creative and allow my clients to be expansive and have fun when they work with me. I'm not one of those coaches that's going to tell you to niche, right? I personally think that whenever somebody tells you to niche, 9 times out of 10, they're telling you that because they're reducing your capacity. But I'll leave that for a whole nother conversation. A lot of you all are being coached by people who are intimidated by you. They hate that you got 1,000,001 ideas and they don't know what to do with you. That's why when people come into, the UnCloned world, we're not judging you. We're allowing you to be free. We're allowing you to be your authentic self. We're allowing you to be as expansive as you have capacity for. So if you come into our programs and you're like, hey, girl, I want to do this, 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 and this, as long as you have the capacity, time, energy, and resources, we got you, right? So the reason that I'm creating this video is because we have made a lot of tough decisions. And if you are not a part of our, I don't know why stuff is coming off the printer. I'm literally not printing anything. Hopefully you all cannot hear that. It seems like every time I want to go live, they cutting grass. The printer is magically coming on. My cat is outside the door meowing for cat food. It's like, what the hell? But anyway, the reason that I am creating this video is because I really want to take you all like on a journey of a lot of these tough decisions, because some of you all may or may not be able to relate to what I'm saying, but I wanted to have a record, if you will, of this moment in time, because UnCloned is about to be all over the world. Okay. And I literally want a video. I want a record, right? I want to be able to say on August 7th, we created a video where we talked about the evolution of our organization and the future of our organization. Here it is in the history books, right? When we have all of our chapters all over the world, right? We have all of our chapters all over the world, and we got leaders in other worlds. In other places. We got our UnCloned marketing pros serving clients. We got our consulting team because we have a corporate arm. Like, the future of UnCloned is huge. But there was a time more recently where I didn't feel like UnCloned was going to either grow big, because I was really, really, really frustrated. I was frustrated with the industry. I was frustrated with people. You all can't hear me? Like, I'm fine. Like, my audio is great. Let me know in the chat if you all can hear me or not. You all got to press play. If you're watching on school, that's how you're going to be able to hear. Make sure you click on audio. My audio is great. I don't know why you all, if you can or can't hear me. I don't think people would have been here this long if they couldn't hear me. Can you all confirm in the chat if you all can hear me or not? Let me know. Let me know if you all can hear me, because earlier people said they could. I can hear you just fine. Yeah, so it must be something with you all devices or something. But let me finish. Because like that's why I like to answer stuff at the end, because I get distracted in the comments. So let me focus. So what was I saying? Oh, so more recently, and I'll say from 2022 to now, right? I'll say from 2022 to now. When my mother died, I kind of had to redefine my life. I had to redefine my purpose. I had to get clear on what I want. And even though I was making money, I needed to ask myself, like, how do I want to serve? How do I want to work with people? What does the next decade of my business look like? What does the next 2 decades of my business look like? And it looks drastically different from when I first came online to how I am now. And one thing that I hadn't account for is where I was in 2014 when I first came online and where I am mentally at 2025. I am 2 completely different people. But part of me was still operating like the 2014 version of me, you know? And when I say the 2014 version of me, I'm talking about the person who was like, oh, we got to make money and we're tired of being broke. And like a lot of my decision making, a lot of my showing up was out of survival mode. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Just put yes or no in the chat, right? Like a lot of what I was going through was coming out of survivor mode, like just trying to win, trying to being able to pay bills. And the moment that I could make money online, that's when everything changed. But I also feel like I allowed myself to kind of be pushed in a lot of directions, because as someone who's the first time, you know, working with people, first time coaching people, first time teaching people earlier back in the day, a lot of the times I would over deliver, over give, overdo things, over commit, over make myself available, right? This looked like whenever somebody would hire me, and if they didn't like something, I would just give them their money back and then still give them the work. Or I didn't know how to advocate for myself because I was operating from a survival state. And because I was operating from a survival state, I was always like bending my rules and bending my boundaries and allowing people to really disrespect me. Right? I wanted to make money so bad that like I was literally dealing with disrespect. Right? I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. I'm gonna talk about that in great detail in a minute. But when you are in survival mode, you are in desperate mode. Now, maybe some of you can and cannot relate to that. Some of you all maybe had it when you were coming up in life. But I know for me back home, you know, we were just trying to pay our rent. Back when we was back home, our rent was like $700. That's all we wanted to do. We wanted to pay our rent. We didn't have a car note, so we really didn't have that expense. My husband and I do not have any biological children together. So I do have a stepdaughter, but we don't have any biological kids together. So it's just me and him in the household. And so we really didn't need a lot of money to live off of. But even with the little money that we did need, it wasn't enough. Even with the little money that we did need, it still wasn't enough. Right? So we had all of these businesses, all of these hustles, all of these things that we were doing. And then we come online and it's like, oh, it's a little bit easier here. Right? Like, oh, it's cool. And so we go online. I learn what I learned. I start supporting people online. I get my first client on April 18, 2014. And the rest is history. Right? And so I'm going to speed you up to the topic of this video because I really want to get into that. If you are a person who has been running your business online for any length of time, you know that there's various ways that you can make money online. Okay. So I'm going to give you a list of all the things I have tried and what I have ultimately ended up with. Now, let me say this, okay? Because typically when I have these type of videos, people try to mimic, copy. Oh, I'm going to do what she did. Oh, I'm going to close it. Like, look, I'm telling you my story. I'm telling you how I got to this conclusion. I'm not saying you don't need to have 4 and 5 programs. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do all the things. I'm telling you why I'm simplifying my business, but that does not mean that you can't have a complicated business or a business with multiple programs and so on and so forth. I'm just telling you my journey and what I've been through and what I ultimately learned and where we are heading as a company. Okay. So when I came online, the first type of service that I sold was one-on-one. So one-on-one, like a one-on-one coaching program. We had 2 coaching programs, one for $5,000, one for $10,000. What was the difference between the two? With the $5,000 group coaching with the 5,000 one-on-one coaching program, you could get coaching from me for 1 hour every week for a whole year. Okay. You could get coaching from me for 1 hour every week for a whole year. That was $5,000. Okay. This was in 2014. The second package that we sold was a $10,000 package. And with that package, we did the branding for you. So we would do your landing pages, your opt-in pages, your ebook. We would help you plan your photo shoot. We would help, do the mood board and the style board. And so it had like a done for you service component to it, right? So we would do done for you, and then we did one-on-one calls. That was our first thing. Now, one of the things I want to mention here, I want you to be thinking about, as I'm telling these stories, as I'm going through these things, I want you to be thinking about 3 things as I'm having this discussion with you. I want you to be thinking about capacity, which means how many clients can you take on at any given time? That's what I mean by capacity. If you're an e-commerce brand, based on your inventory, that's the max you can sell, right? Unless you're like print on demand, so on and so forth. But we offered one-on-one services with our clients, and then we had the done for you. Now, the issue we ran into was time and capacity. I was the only designer. It's only so many clients that I can coach and do all of this design work for. And so it put a cap on me very quickly. I knew within the first year of running the business that this ain't gonna work. Like, I need to be able to have more impact in the world. I need to be able to serve more people, and I need to be able to really reach more people than these 10 clients that I have at the time. And so I ended up creating a group coaching program called Building Big Brands. And then Building Big Brands was initially a 6-week program, and then we expanded it to a 12-week program. And this is where I would say you can say this was like my clone years, if you will. And so we went, the reason I'm calling it my clone years, because it wasn't until I created that group coaching program that I started blending in with everybody else, right? Because up until that point, when you do done for you or like one-on-one services, it's competitive, but not as much because a lot of people don't like doing those type of services. But when you go into like group coaching, memberships, and like all the things, everybody gets excited about those type of business models because it's leverage. You serving one to many. It doesn't have a huge time restraint like one-on-one calls, so on and so forth, right? So when we created the Building Big Brands program, and then we expanded to 12 weeks, that's when I started, how can I say this? This is when I started getting more reach and enough impact for people to know that okay, if I'm gonna sign up for Audria Richmond program, what's the difference between Audria Richmond program and this person's program? And I found myself having to compete in a market where everybody's shit looks the same. If you I want you to go do this as an exercise. If you look at everybody who calls themselves a coach, consultant, marketer, whatever the hell people call themselves these days, if you go and look at the titles of the coaches in the world, you will see a lot of people sell similar things. They have masterminds, they have group coaching programs, they may have a membership program, they have different things that they have. And so at the time when I had my 12-week program, my program was 12 weeks and it was $2,000. And everybody in my industry had a 12-week program that was $2,000. So if a consumer is looking to work with you, they're like, oh, I just saw Sally's stuff for $2,000 and I saw your stuff for $2,000. What's the difference? And so I was like, I need people to know I'm the obvious choice. I'm not like the rest of these jokers. And the reason that I'm getting grouped in with them is because I'm doing the same shit that they're doing. I said, okay, we're going to have to do something different. And so I ended up creating this program called called 2-day site launch, because this was me doing something different. And I was like, I'm gonna do this program that's 2-day site launch. Everybody builds their websites on this platform. I'm gonna build mine on this type of platform. And I remember calling someone and somebody saying like, hey, you really need to do a WordPress website, because at the time everybody had a WordPress website. And she was like, you really need to do a WordPress website. And I was like, I don't want to do WordPress. I hate WordPress, and I want to build it on this platform. And I remember getting off that call and was like, nah, I'm doing this class. I'm doing it on this platform. I believe in this project. I'm going to put it out. Let's see what happens. I put it out. It sells out in 2 days. Okay. Now, this is a pivotal point in the storyline for you all to really listen to what I'm saying, is because this is the first time I created something that was unique, that was different, that a lot of people didn't have the capability to do. And I knew for a fact it would stand out because it was different, it was innovative, it was cool, right? When everybody was boring as hell, copying each other, swiping each other, I was over here thinking about how the hell do I ensure that I don't look like these jokers? I don't sound like these jokers. I'm not packaging myself like these jokers. I'm not pricing myself like these jokers. Like literally, I need you to see all the competitors. And then when you come across our brand, you can't unsee it, right? And so that was very important for me, because we had to spend time thinking about that, right? So let me know if this is making sense, everybody in the chat. Are y'all following along? How y'all feeling right now? Let me know in the chat, okay? So I do this, and then now I'm like, oh, I'm on to something. So I continue to start doing these like really unique workshops and events. One of the programs that I created was a program called Live Stream Now. And when we created Live Stream Now, the program, that was huge for us, because at the time, no one was live streaming like me. Okay. Everybody wanted to know, how you doing intros? And let me also say this. This was before you could easily do it with a tool like Ecamm and all of that stuff, right? People were like, oh, how are you doing intros and outros? And how are you getting your graphics on screen? And like, how are you doing this? And how are you doing that? And it was like, oh my God, how you doing? And then this program, I got so many people who joined this program because I was doing something different. Are y'all starting to see the trends here? Are y'all starting to see the trends here, right? Like I'm starting to find my sauce, my secret sauce, right? And you know what the secret sauce was? Trusting myself, trusting that my ideas are cool enough, innovative enough, and so dope that I don't have to compete with the others, okay? And so that was my mindset. So I remember being on Periscope. I don't know if y'all remember Periscope, but Periscope was kind of like live streaming. You could get on, people could come on your live streams and heart your profile. If somebody big got on your Periscope, they could repost your live stream, and you would get like all of their people to be notified that you were live. Like Periscope was so fire. They actually should have that feature for Instagram or like YouTube or something like that. But nevertheless, I remember being on Periscope, and there was someone in our community. Her name was Kim. And I tell this story in my book, UnCloned Life. So if you haven't read any of my books, it's in my second book, UnCloned Life. And she came on the Periscope, and she said, girl, you so uncloned. And I said, is that even a word? Like, because first when she said it, I was like, oh my God, you're right. Like, hell yeah, I'm uncloned. And so I started using. First, I needed to see, was it a word, right? Like, is this something she made up, or is this an actual word? And so I go to online, and it's an actual word, right? And I'm like, oh shit. But then when I searched it, like nobody owned it. Like it was kind of like nobody really, it was kind of, I guess you could say like my old brand was Building Big Brands. And so when she started saying UnCloned, what I started doing was putting UnCloned. I started putting hashtag UnCloned, hashtag UnCloned Life, right? And so then I was like, I need to write a book on this, right? Like what it means to be a clone. I need to give it meaning. I need to create a ethos around it. Like I need to have like this, like I need to make it mean something, right? And that's when we published UnCloned Life in 2017. And so when we published UnCloned Life in 2017, it's also when I changed my company name from Building Big Brands to UnCloned Media. Okay. As y'all following along. Okay. Let me know in the chat if you follow along. Okay. Hopefully y'all enjoying this. And so I changed my company name to UnCloned. We become UnCloned. UnCloned Life, UnCloned Movement is starting. I hire who is my best friend now. Her name is Rochelle. I hired her to do our logo, which is on my sleeve right here. So if you've ever wondered, like, okay, what does this logo mean? Okay, because a lot of times people see this and they call it everything but what it is. It is a sheep, okay, with X's for eyes. So Dolly the sheep was the first animal to be cloned, and the sheep represents, like, this first animal to be cloned, but the X's represent that we don't clone, okay, that we're being ourselves, so on and so forth, okay. And so when she first initially sent me the logo, I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that. When she first sent it to me, I was like, I don't want that logo. I want something else. And once she broke it down, I was like, hell yeah. Like, have somebody ever like broke something down and you like, yes, this is it, right? So when she broke it down, I was like, hell yeah, let's go, let's do it, right? And I embraced it. Now, when she first sent over the initial color palette, I didn't like it. And so we ended up going back and forth until we ultimately ended up with our current color palette. So, we got the teal, the orange, the pink, the purple, like all of these things. But I also wanted our brand to be luxury a little bit too, because we wanted to be luxury and fun and serious and professional. I know those like sometimes don't go together, but I wanted it to, I wanted it to embody it all the time. Okay. And so we starting UnCloned. UnCloned is taking off for the first time in my business history. People know what I'm saying without me having to give these long ass marketing messages. If I said UnCloned, regardless of age, people knew what it was. And this is how I knew it was going to be a big deal when I was talking to my father. I was talking to my daddy, and I was like, I was telling my daddy about my business. And he was like, UnCloned? He said, oh yeah, you finna be super rich. And my daddy not online. He ain't got no Facebook page. He just ride around Memphis helping people, doing stuff. And if he thought so high of this, I already knew it was gonna be popping, right? So we start UnCloned. It's going great. I wrote the book. I'm doing all the things, and everything is going grand, right? I'm writing books. I'm publishing, doing all the things, and I'm constantly, creating all of these different offers, right? I'm creating membership site. I got the list here. I'm creating memberships. I'm creating group coaching programs. I ended up creating a mastermind in 2019. We created the UnCloned Mastermind. I'm doing one-on-one calls. I'm doing one-on-one services. I'm doing I'm doing VIP days. I'm doing agency services. I'm doing done for you. I'm doing e-commerce. How many of you all are exhausted from what I just said? Now, part of me like to do things because I'm very experimental. I like trying things. I don't like to say, oh, that ain't for me. Like, I like to try things before I give an opinion on it, right? And so I have tried all of these business models, okay? Like, I have tried literally all of these business models. Okay. I've tried memberships. I've tried group coaching program. We just closed our mastermind. Like, this is the last month of our mastermind. So we have no more mastermind. The UnCloned Launch Circle, we're still going to have it, but it's exclusively to our clients. That's in our new program. I'll talk about that in a moment. But the Launch Circle is closed, meaning you cannot join a la carte anymore. And we're ending it for anybody who don't upgrade to the vault. So if anybody don't upgrade to the vault by the end of December, all of those people who are currently in the Launch Circle would be canceled, and they can either decide at a later date to join us in the vault, or they can go work with someone else. That's where I'm at with it. And I'll tell you why I feel like that. But I just want you all to know that, like, I'm creating all of these things because I have a big heart. And if I had to contribute if I had to think about all my frustration, all my pain, all my anger, all my sadness, everything I've ever felt from operating online, from being manipulated, from dealing with scammers, with dealing with shitty service providers, with dealing with shitty clients at some point, right? When you have dealt with so much stuff, it makes you shrink and retreat. Okay? Over time, I found myself not wanting to be around people. Over time, I found myself becoming a homebody. When I was back home, I was always out. I was always socializing. I was always hanging out with people. And the more and more I got burned, the more and more I started shrinking myself. The more and more I dealt with crazy ass people, the more and more I shrink myself. The more and more disrespect that I received, the more and more I shrink myself. And before you knew it, I looked in the mirror and I didn't even know who the hell I was no more. I'm overweight. I am always feeling like I need to be on. Always just feeling like I need to be on. Always like, oh, I got to post. I got to do this. I got to do this. Blah, blah, blah. And then I just said, nah. I need a break. I need a break from this online shit. I need a break from people. I need a break. And so I took a break. I took a break that was probably too long because it showed in my finances. And I didn't care. I didn't care where the chips land because this was a season where I needed to focus on myself. I needed to save myself. I needed to focus on myself because I had given so much of myself to other people that I did not give anything to myself. Okay? And so what did I learn? And these are just learnings that I've learned over the whole 11 years of being online. And like, how did I ended up needing to do this soul work, right? So number one, you can't want people to win and succeed more than they want to. I'm going to read this again because if I had to pinpoint the one thing that kept me restricted and constrained for so long, it is that. I'm wanting everybody to win. I'm following up with clients. I'm over delivering. I'm over giving. Okay, I'll give you this course. I'll put this thing in there. And I'm trying my best to really kind of speak to the intensity of this because I don't know if y'all really understand this. Like, because my clients have direct access to me on Slack, I will wake up in the morning and the first thing I'll do is check my Slack. Okay, who got a message for me? Okay. Whew, nobody had a message. And then I would check the support desk. Who got a ticket today? Then I would, and I was always feeling like I needed to prove myself. I needed to prove to my clients that I love you. I want to see you win. You may not have other people in your life that's cheering and rooting for you, but I am. And I cheered for people for so long that it damn near killed me. And I'm not even joking. Stress levels through the roof. Experiencing dizziness, headaches, frustration, stress, weight that won't release from my body because I'm so constricted. Because I want people to win so bad. I'm like, why you ain't showing up in the group? Why you ain't showing up in the community? Why you ain't coming to the calls? Why you not asking your questions? Why you haven't started the course? Why you haven't read the books? You keep telling me you want to make $1 million, you want to make 6 figures, you want to change your life, but you ain't doing the goddamn work. You're not doing the work. And so I'm telling them this, I'm like, and every time I would do it more and more and more, I started to become angry. Because I done spent all this money on these planners. I done spent all this money on all this technology and this software, and I'm investing in this stuff, trying to help them with this. And I'm like, oh, my people need this and that and that. And then people would tell me goofy shit like, I just ain't got time to watch a course. I just don't have time. But you got time to be broke. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You don't have time to read a book, take a course, make an investment, join a program, get coaching, watch a video, hell, watch a free video, check into a community that serve you every day. You don't have time to do any of that, but you got time to complain, be broke, and be mad, and then be jealous of the people that has surpassed your ass because you wasted so much goddamn time. And so part of me was like, I was just ultimately confused. I'm like, ain't no way you telling me the truth. Ain't no way. Why are you paying me month after month after month after month after month after month after month and you're not doing anything? I am so confused. But then on the flip side, I got all of my so-called clients joining other people's programs, and then coming back to me complaining. When I'm serving them with integrity, I'm showing love, I'm making myself accessible. I'm even listening to you vent to me about a bad investment when you really should have never made it. And so a big part of me had to realize that, like, I can't care this much. If I keep caring at the rate that I'm caring, I'm going to die young. I just turned 39, right? I'm young as shit. I should not be this stressed about grown ass people who keep telling me they won't change and they're not changing. They're not changing their behavior, not changing nothing. And so I felt myself, feeling a certain kind of way. And I was just like, nope, I'm done. I'm going to match the energy that you give me. Whatever that is. If you show up, I'm going to show up. If you ask a question, I'm going to be there to answer it. You don't show up, that's your prerogative. Okay? I have learned how to emotionally detach myself from my clients' outcomes. Period. I want you to win, but not at the expense of my health and my sanity. Okay? And so I need you all to understand that there's a lot of people in the online marketing space who will take your money gladly and never give a rat's ass if you log in. Okay? Plenty of people. And how do I know? Because some of these jokers have told me personally, why do you care so much? You already know what the success rate is on courses. But why are we glorifying that? Why are we normalizing that? Why are we so goddamn happy about people not showing up for themselves? You a coward. You don't care about your clients. You don't care if they win. And I don't know, maybe I'm built different. I don't know. Maybe that's probably why I needed to stop caring so much. But I know one thing. I love my clients. And if you're a client, you know this. And so that was probably the first biggest lesson I learned is you can't want people to win and succeed more than they want to win. Okay? The second thing, I am not in the convincing business. Okay? I'm not in the convincing business. I know my worth. I know what I've built. I know what I've created. I know the shit. Right? Like, I am dope as fuck. I know that about me. Okay? And so we had just came off of our conference. Okay? And I'm telling people, hey, come join us in the vault. And people are like, what is this? What is this about? I don't know if this is a fit and this, that, and a third. And I'm watching my clients trying to sell other people on why they need to join the vault. Okay? Like, I'm watching them in real time on school. And I literally logged out the app. I said, I'm going to let my clients do it because I've already retired from that. I'm not proving shit to you. If you can't see that I'm the one, I'm probably not the one for you, right? Because I got plenty of receipts. Okay? I'm sitting here looking at a stack of receipts right now next to me on my desk because we just coming off of that. If you don't think getting Publishing Like a Pro plus Marketing in the Mail, which is our planner and course system that teach you how to publish like a pro, if you don't think getting access to our content system, getting access to our opportunity hour system and course and planner, getting access to our Publishing Like a Pro, our UnCloned offers system and planner and course, our UnCloned launch system, planner and course, and all the other slew of shit that's in the program. If you don't think that's a steal or a deal, or you're on the fence, or you're thinking about it, or if you don't know, but every time I turn around, you got a question, can you help me? Can you help me do this? And I'm telling you, sis, hey, bro, sign up for this thing. It's cheap. I literally made it cheap on purpose. And so I'm not convincing no goddamn body in this season. If you need to be convinced, you probably not ready, right? Or maybe I'm not your cup of tea, or maybe you need to find somebody else. But I know I'm dope as hell. I know that. I don't need you to convince me. I don't need you to tell me. And it took me a long time to get to that level of confidence where I'm not seeking validation outside of myself. It took me a very long time. Okay. The second thing that I learned, I got notes, y'all. I told you I got notes. We're going to be here for a minute. People who have money, and I'm going to slow this one down. People who have money think that they are above watching a course, reading a book, or doing any type of learning or upskilling. It blows my mind. Okay. It blows my mind the amount of money that people spend on things to make excuses. And it doesn't matter price point, y'all. Okay. Because it's easy to think that like, oh, the people who pay more, they are much better. No, they're not. I can tell you, because I've worked with people at all ends of the spectrum. I've worked with multimillionaires and I have worked with startups. Literally, there's no difference. It's just one group has more money than the other. There is no difference. They all got the same CEO issues, the same brand identity issues, the same intellectual property issues, the same marketing and launch issues, the same content issues, the same pitching issues, and the same publishing issues. Whether they are free watching this YouTube video or they gave me $30,000 to be in my mastermind, there's no different. There's no difference, just access and proximity. And what I have learned is people spend a lot of money because they don't want to do these things. And they don't realize you come in my world, your ass gonna learn. You're gonna read some books, you're gonna take some courses, you're gonna watch some videos, you're gonna listen to some podcasts. So if you don't like learning, you probably shouldn't even be a part of our community. I've had people tell me, oh my God, your posts inside of school are so good, but they're so long. Are you serious? Do you know how much of do you know how much of a privilege it is for Black people to read in this country? Are you serious? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Are we on the same planet here? You mean to tell me you ain't got time to read a book? That's what you saying? You so busy. Life is so turbulent. You ain't got time to read a book, bro? When we used to get hung for wanting to read, for wanting to learn, and you won't take advantage with all the endless content on social media, man, get out of my face. Like, for real. For real. When I meet people like that, I'm like, I'm not your person. Go find you a community where they always partying and doing goofy shit. Over here, we work. We do real shit. We ain't got entertainment out the wazoo trying to keep you entertained and high-fiving and doing the stanky leg and shit. Like, we over here building assets. We over here building a legacy. We over here building history. If you looking for goofy shit, go find goofy things to do. But over here, we're building real businesses, real assets that we can sell, leverage, or scale. That's what we're doing over here in UnCloned land. So if you don't like reading, watching videos, learning, the video too long and all of that, girl, go over there. Please get out my face, because I'm a learner. Even with all the money I've ever made, I'm still learning. I'm still reading books. I'm still making investments. I'm still joining courses. I'm still going to events. Give me a break. So that's another thing that I learned. Okay. The next thing I learned is stop doing what you see people doing online. Do what feels authentic to you. And I want to speak to a very quick story. In 2023, I put on a one-day virtual conference. A one-day in-person conference, really out of peer pressure. Nobody had a gun to my head and was like, you better do an event. But I was in an environment where everybody was doing events. And so I felt like, well, based on your income level, you should be producing events, like in-person events with AV teams and all the things. And so I spent about $85,000 to put on this one-day event. I chickened out because I didn't make an offer. I really didn't price the tickets high enough because we were at cost. And so I ended up, what I took away from that was it was an awesome experience. It was an awesome event. So I definitely don't want to downplay that. But when I walked away from it, all the time, energy, effort, and money spent, I realized that I did it because I wanted to be respected by my peers who were also doing events. Does this make sense what I'm saying? Like if everybody in my friend group is producing conferences and putting on big events and I'm the only one that's not, if I want to be a part of the in crowd, I need to be producing events too. Right? I got caught up in that shit. And it really goes against what UnCloned is. UnCloned is to challenge your norms, be the first to do it first, and being able to trust yourself. I didn't trust myself when it came to that. And this is why it's so important for me to be in environments where being different is okay. Being an individual is okay. Beating to your own drum is okay. Right? And so I definitely got caught up in that, thinking that I needed to do that when really I didn't need to do it. And what's crazy is that event, I think we ended up getting like maybe 2 or 3 mastermind clients from that event. But this last event that we just did in July, it ran circles around that event. When I say circles. Why? Because I was in a different headspace this time versus when I did it in 2023. In 2023, I'm in these fancy clothes and I'm trying to look good and I'm overweight and I'm like, oh my God, I hope I don't pass out on the stage. And you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about all of these things, right? And I'm just like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And because I'm a finisher, I finished it. I debriefed it. I got my lessons and I made an executive decision from that day forward that I'm going to do what I want to do. And if I'm inspired or if I'm in a group and I feel like I need to do what the others are doing, I'm going to do a soul check first and make sure that it's aligned with me first. And if it's not aligned with me, y'all be great. Have fun. I think you killing it. Congrats, sis. But I'm straight. I'm doing me. I want peace in this season. I want clarity in this season. I don't want to feel like I need to be a part of some group or some, club or a certain level in a program in order to be respected. Y'all can have all this goofy shit, right? So there's that. The next thing that I want to share is that not every business model is for everyone, okay? You have to find what works for you. Everyone don't need a crazy value ladder. So if you like, okay, Audria, what are you talking about? Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen? So I'm going to show you some of our models. Okay. So here you can see you got UnCloned Insider, UnCloned Experiences, Lunch Circle, Mastermind. Then I'm like, oh, I'm really killing it now. Look, we got 5 levels. UnCloned Community, UnCloned Experiences, UnCloned Marketing Systems, the Lunch Circle, brand development. If you need some one-on-one work, holler at your girl, you know. So I'm like doing all of this stuff. Y'all want to know what this shit look like today in 2025? This is it. Okay. This is how it works here. Okay. This is what we focused on. We got a community that I'm about to start charging for because people were like, oh, I don't really want to go on school. Great. And when UnCloned blow up, you're going to be paying fees. Like, I'm done begging people to come on school. We have made a decision to start charging to come inside of our community. So if you're not in our community, in the next week or so, or at least by the end of the month, it's going to start costing you a fee to come into our group. It ain't going to be no crazy amount, but it ain't going to be free. People don't always respect free. They really don't. This is why you're starting to see a lot of people who put on events and stuff like that. They start charging people, even if it's like $5 or $10. Like people literally legit do not respect free. But anyway, so you see here, we have the UnCloned community, we got UnCloned Experiences, and we got the UnCloned Brand Vault. That's it. If you want to work with me, you need to be in the vault. If you like, hey, I don't know if I want to work with you just yet, you can join us at any of our UnCloned experiences. How do we identify an UnCloned experience? An UnCloned experience is either free or paid, online or offline. Some examples of our UnCloned experiences would be like UnCloned Brand Live, which is one of our conferences that we do. We're doing a meetup here in Atlanta on the 21st that's sold out. That would be considered an UnCloned experience. Us doing a dinner in a certain city near you, that would be considered an experience. Does that make sense, everybody? So the way my brain, this is what I've learned over the years. People aren't going to buy shit from you until they experience you, period. Whether they're experiencing a webinar, a video series, your books, your content, whatever. Until people experience you, they're not buying a damn thing from you. Okay. So we have our community where we nurture our existing clients and future clients. We then have UnCloned experiences where they're free or paid, online or offline. And then we got the UnCloned brand vault. And we'll talk about that at the end of the live. Okay. So that's how we ended up simplifying the business, right? So the next thing so let me go back to that point of like, you don't need a crazy value ladder. A lot of people, especially in this industry, teach value ladder. Okay. You got to have a free thing, and then you got to have a cheap thing. Then you got to have a mid-ticket thing. Then you got to have a high-ticket thing. And then after you have all those things, you need to have a regular version, a VIP version, you need to be making more money version. Then when you get from there, you need to graduate to this thing and that thing. And it's just shit is never fucking ending. How many of you all feel like that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just by myself, but like, it's never ending. Like every time you turn around, you know, somebody is releasing another program or another thing, or it's just like, oh my God, like I'm tired of it. Right. And granted, I've been pre-exposed to this industry for 11 years. But just being in this industry is never ending. And I have been in these Wally Wonka business models where it's just like, I'm in this program and I'm being coached, and they're like, oh, well, we can't answer that question because you're not in this level. That happened to me twice. The first time it happened to me, it was with a coach that I hired. And I remember we were working. I had just opened up the mastermind, and I needed support with running the mastermind. And I remember asking her to help me, and she was like, "Oh, well, you know, when you upgrade to this program, we go into great detail about that." I said, "I beg your pardon." I was like, "I beg your pardon? Like, what did you just say to me? Like, I need to upgrade to another program after you just told me I need to do this thing? You're not going to tell me? You're not going to give me you ain't going to give me no tips, no little signals, no little smoke signals. Like, you know, like you're going to give me nothing? Oh, say less. Say less. Did I renew with this person? Hell no. Second time I asked for some help. I'm asking obviously advanced questions. And it's like, oh, well, I don't really know the answer to that question. Or you got to wait to this call to ask that type of question. Or I'm getting all these coaches who ain't really ran no goddamn business. And it's just like, it's just a bunch of shit, right? So I'm just like, I'm over it. Like, I am so over it, you know, because now I got to be in another tier if I want to be a part of a higher level conversation. I'm just over it. I'm over the levels. I'm over the selective treatment based on what you pay. And I was just like, I want to do something innovative as fuck. I want to disrupt the shit out of this industry. And I want people to be mad that I did it. And I don't give a goddamn. How can I add mastermind level value at a affordable price point for any business owner and teach them how to build the most epic brand that you could ever think about, right? Because as a consumer, I got sick of all the levels and the tiers and the mistreatment and all the things. And as someone who has multiple programs, I got sick of trying to have a $37 thing, a $100 thing. And I was just like, no, I need to force people in my world to focus by having one curriculum, one path, one way to be successful. That's what we need to focus on. And this looked like, and I'm going to share my screen here. This looked like we need to help our clients do 7 things. If they can do these 7 things, they can build an UnCloned brand. Number one, we need to show them how to own the role of CEO so they can lead an UnCloned brand. Number 2, we need to show them how to build a brand that's strategically designed, visually stunning, and have this really epic IP portfolio. The third thing we need to do, we need to show our clients how to create compelling offers that don't bleed in with their competition. Number 4, we need to show them how to use UnCloned marketing campaign strategies to launch marketing campaigns that can't be ignored. Number 5, we need to show them how to create content that's original, that builds authority and credibility. Number 6, we need to show our clients how to pitch their brand and secure next level opportunities on demand. And number 7, we need to show our clients how to author publishing projects that establish them as the go-to expert in their industry. If we help them do these 7 things, they are light years ahead of the industry. While everybody is focusing on, you need to get to 6 figures, you need to get to 7 figures, you need to get to 8 figures, you need to get to 10 figures. I'm like, what's up with all the figures? And I'm gonna tell you why why our awards is not based on money. I'm gonna tell you that in a minute. Not now, but I'm gonna tell you why we have an award and it's not based on money. And I'm gonna tell you why. And we'll get to that in a moment. So that's another lesson that I learned, right? So what did I ended up doing? I sunset my mastermind in October of 2024. I made an announcement to the UnCloned Launch Circle the other day that it would be no more, and you have to the end of the year to upgrade to the vault or find someone else or cancel, however you want to do that. The next thing, we had this little UnCloned brand Q&A club where we were selling for $37. That closed at the end of the year. So I closed 3 programs between October and now to go in on one focus, one framework, one goal. I want to give my clients a map, the path, award them. That's how simple I want it to be. The map, which is our framework, the path, which is the asset, the vault, and the awards that we're going to give our clients, right? So I ended up creating this this framework, right? And I'm gonna talk about the framework here in a moment. But we ended up creating this framework called the UnCloned Brand Framework, and it has 7 pillars. It's really dope. I'll break it down here in a moment. But so I'm still in my lessons, y'all. I'm on page 2. I'm still in my lessons, okay? My next lesson, don't ever get too attached to a client, regardless of how much money they spend with you, regardless of how long they've been a client of yours. And the reason for this is because sometimes you can get so attached to a client that you forgot that they were a client. Like you treat them like they your bestie, your sister girl, your best bud, your bestie. And these are your clients, right? At the end of the day, sometimes people love their coaches, sometimes people don't. But at the end of the day, people change just like that. And I done seen it time and time and time again in my business, right? And so this looked like clients who actually got services charging back and bankrupting my account. This looks like this was when we was like early on in our online business where we was doing good. We may be doing like $10,000, $15,000 a month. We was happy with that. But if somebody is charging back half of that, it's like, damn, and that client really put us in a bad spot. And so I remember how devastated I felt because this is somebody that I went and hung out with. I met this person's family. We done went in town. They showing us a good time. And this is the same person that said they love me. I changed their life. They so thankful for me would do such a devastating thing. Right. And so I've had multiple situations like that where I've loved on people so hard in such a big way and then turn on you as quick as you can blink your eyes. And it was a huge learning point for me because I was just like, wow, like people would treat you like that. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe I'm gullible as hell. I have such a huge heart. And so I really took it to heart. Like, dang, why you doing me like this? You gotta do me like this. I did this and all, like I'm sad as hell. I'm like, why this person doing me like this, right? And so all because they couldn't get their way. It wasn't like I didn't do the service or anything like that, but because they couldn't get their way, they did this thing. And so it made me not get too attached to anyone, right? I can love you and wish well for you, but I cannot trust I can't trust that you might not switch up on me. And so I got to make sure I'm on my guard with people because people can love you today, hate you tomorrow. Okay. The next thing, and this is my last lesson before we get into the rest of this, but my last lesson is focus on the ready. Focus on the ready. Focus on the ready. Focus on the ready. Stop trying to prove to people that you can help them. Stop trying to prove to people that you can help them. Focus on the ready. Focus on the ready. Stop trying to prove to people that you can do the work. Let your work prove to people that you can do the work. Let how you show up show people that you're the obvious choice. Stop begging people and pleading people and begging people, oh, please join my program. Oh, please, please, please. Oh, child, please. No, 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 no. And when I say focus on the ready, what I mean by that is focus on the people who show up in your community. Focus on the people who buy from you, your actual paying clients. Focus on the people who show up to your live streams, who show up and participate in your content, who open your emails, who read your emails, who show up, who intentionally show up in your world. I got 1,000 times more respect for those people than the people who pop up every blue moon, always complaining, wanting to be quick and fast, don't want to follow protocol, want to do things out of protocol, think they are above process. Like, no. So focus on the ready. Okay. So those are the lessons I learned. And so I began to start thinking about like, oh, okay, as I'm doing my soul work, there are some things that I need to do, right? So I needed to do my soul work. I needed to heal myself. I needed to release things that I had been holding on to for years. And this is 2 big books of me venting. Okay? Almost 1,000 pages of me venting about how I felt, my experience, and I released it. Okay. Once I got this out my system, I released it. And if you're in our paid programs, you know what that is. I'm not going to get into that here on this public platform, but I literally was just, venting and getting it out my system and asking questions and getting curious and like reading more personal development books and sliding the business books to the side for a minute and like really doing that deep inner soul work, that emotional, spiritual cleansing and healing. This required me to not be on Facebook as much, not be on Instagram as much. We actually took our community off of Facebook last year and we've been on school ever since. Okay. And so it was very important to me that I got away from the noise, right? When you are around so much noise and so much conversation and so much negativity, you cannot think. You literally cannot think. And so once I did that, so I did my soul work. I needed a break. I needed to work on my health. I started working out every day. I needed time to think. I needed time to plan. And I needed time to shut out the noise. So what happened? Last year in October of 2024, we launched the UnCloned brand assessment. Okay. How many of you all have taken that? Okay. So I'm going to pull it up real quick so I can show y'all what it is. But if you all are interested in taking it, it's free. And it's an assessment that we launched last year. Let me know if y'all can see that. So if you come over here, you can come over here to unclonedbrandscore.com. and sign up for your free assessment. And it tells you where you stand with your brand. Okay. It takes you about 5 minutes to take the assessment. At the conclusion, you will get a full PDF report, a video breakdown, and your next steps on what you should be focused on or what you're doing. Okay. So since we launched that last year, we had over 1,700 people who have taken it since October of last year to now. And we now have 100,000 data points. Why is this important? Because a big part of our decisions came from this data, right? We got 100,000. Let me come back to this. A big part of that came from a lot of our decisions came from this assessment. Because in my mind, I thought people were like here when really people were here. So I'm coaching like this when really I got to bring it down a notch. I thought people were like killing it, crushing it or whatever. And then once we got the data, it was like, oh, snap. we're above a lot of people's heads. Why do we got this program? This is probably too much. We need to like restructure some things and like remove some things around, right? And so once we did that, I said one thing is true, and this is how I came to the conclusion that everybody's on the same level, right? Like it doesn't matter what money, because we had all types of people take this assessment. Whether you were a multimillionaire or you somebody who just getting started, there's still a lot of gaps in people's brands of things that they don't have, right? And so once we got this assessment and everything, and we put it out there, we were already doing this work with the framework I'm about to show you. So we have a framework that we utilize to coach our clients. It's called the UnCloned Brand Framework. I'm gonna pull it up real quick so I can show y'all. And this is my framework. Don't be out here trying to reteach my stuff. You know how the internet people is. I saw this and I thought it mean I can use it. You can't. All my stuff is trademark and copywritten. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen, but this is our framework. Is there a way to move this? Okay, I'm gonna just do it like this. So the UnCloned Brand Framework has 7 phases to it. 1 is UnCloned CEO. 2 is UnCloned Brand ID and IP. 3 is your offers. 4 is your marketing and launches. 5 is your content. 6 is opportunity hour, and 7 is publishing. We believe when you have all of these achieved, you have an UnCloned brand. Now, there are some nuances to this. We got frameworks, processes inside of our program, but overall, this is how we serve our clients. So we were already doing this work in the UnCloned Mastermind. It just wasn't structured into this framework that I just showed you. So when we would work with our mastermind clients, if they was working on a book, we would help them with a book. If they was working on a group coaching program, we'll help them with a group coaching program. If they're producing an event, we'll help them with the event, so on and so forth, right? Like all the things. And so once we introduced this framework, it became like a guiding light or a tool for us to really serve at scale. So the assessment is actually based on that framework. So when you go and take the assessment, you get this data, you're able to see where you stand in all of those 7 phases that I just shared with you. Okay. So at UnCloned Brand Live in July, which was a few weeks ago, which was freaking awesome. Okay, we did it during my birthday weekend. It was, oh my God. Do we have anybody here who was at the conference? It was so freaking good. So we hosted our virtual conference July 18th through the 20th. And there's 2 things that we introduced at that conference. The first thing we introduced is our new award. Okay, who want to see it? If you don't want to see it, I ain't going to show you. You probably already seen a preview of it. But who wants to see it? Just put me in the chat. Okay. So let me show you all what it looks like real quick. And I'm gonna push my microphone over a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't get wonky, because the way the award is, I always make it fall. So, so let me show y'all real quick. Hold on. Okay. Please don't fall. Can y'all see it? All right. So you remember the framework that I just showed you? This is the award for it. Okay. So I got my little white gloves so I can show y'all. But basically, we created a new award called the UnCloned Brand Award. And as you complete the milestones in the program, you can achieve each award. Okay. That's how it works. So the only way to get this award, you have to be in our program, the UnCloned Brand Vault. And we literally work on those 7 pillars in the program. Okay. So as you can see here, yeah, I gotta get my white gloves on. You know what I mean? These just get dirty now, but nevertheless, this is the UnCloned CEO Award. Okay, hopefully y'all can see that. The UnCloned CEO Award. Then we have the UnCloned Brand ID and IP Award. Okay, it's clear. And then you got the back side of it. Okay. Then you have UnCloned Offers. Okay. Then you have marketing and launches. Okay. And then you can see the back of it. Okay. And boom. Okay. Can y'all see that? Cool beans. We only got 2 more. This is opportunity hour. Okay. And then we have, please don't fall. Please don't fall. So there's some grooves inside the base that it goes into. And then this is our publishing award. So when you publish, you get this. Okay. Now, the reason that our awards is not based on revenue is because, hold on. Whew, that was good because it did not fall. I'm taking off my Mickey gloves now. But we're doing an award show next year, so that's super fun. But the reason that our awards is not based on money is because I've seen people make 6 and 7 figures and go out of business. So money is not, to me, money and revenue is not the only metric of success. How are you as the CEO? Okay. Have you done all your CEO work? How are you what is your brand identity? What's in your intellectual property portfolio? Excuse me. Do you know how to clearly articulate your offers, create offers, sell offers, present offers? Do you know how to conduct marketing campaigns and launches? Do you know how to create effective content that sell your products and services with ease? Do you know how to pitch yourself so you're not always hoping and praying people see your content? Do you know how to publish, or do you have anything with your name on it that builds authority and credibility? If you look at any person that has done any significant things in society, they are a great CEO. They got their brand identity on lock. They got a strong IP portfolio. They market and launch all the time. They create content all the time. They're always looking for partnerships, sponsorships, brand deals, all the things. And then they publish something. Okay. And so I know that these are all the components of the brand. And I know that this works when you sit down and do the work. Right. And so when we launched this program, it's called the UnCloned Brand Vault. And if you're interested in joining, you can go over to unclonedbrandvault.com. I will put it in the chat. I don't know if it's going to go everywhere, but hey, I will put it there. And put it in there. Boom. If you all are interested in learning more and joining, there you go. This is not a membership. Okay. This is a program. There's a 12-month commitment. You will be asked to sign a program agreement before you get access to any of the planners, the courses, the community. You have to sign a program agreement. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure when we created this program was, how do we give MBA level of content at a rate that's affordable for the small business owner, the solopreneur? Because this is what I shared in my community. And I'm going to take y'all inside of our Vault community real quick so I can read some to y'all real quick. Share my screen. Okay, so let me go over to school real quick and log into our community. Okay, let's see. So we have our school. This is our free community. And then this is our Vault community. Okay. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to come down to me, and I am going to look at all the posts that I did. Okay, so let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on. Nope, that ain't it. Which one is it? I don't think that's it. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. So I was sharing with my clients, and I'm gonna read this to you all. I want to share some thoughts about how we're going to start adding more events and experiences to the UnCloned Brand Vault. One of the reasons that this program isn't priced at $30,000, $50,000 is because of a few intentional decisions we made. First, I want you to be able to use your own business resources however you need to, whether that's hiring your first team member, running ads, creating a marketing budget for your next launch, paying an editor to help to help finish your book, or getting a designer to bring your ideas to life. Whatever you need those funds for, that flexibility is built into how we price the UnCloned brand vault. Now, let me explain this to you in another way. When you see high ticket programs priced at $30,000 to $50,000 or more, that pricing usually includes a lot of things like in-person retreats, live events, packages being mailed to you, a full coaching team, support staff, and so on. And in order for those programs to make a profit, they have to charge that. Now, because we're not including events as a built-in cost inside of your annual investment inside the UnCloned brand vault, this allows us the flexibility for you to choose which events and experiences that you want to participate at a value. Like basically, as a vault member, you're going to be able to get first dibs and first deals on everything on top of the savings you got to join the program. Okay. So the reason I'm sharing that with you is because the reason that the program is able to be affordable is because we don't have all the extra stuff. Right? We took out all of that stuff. And if you want to pay for it, you can. Right? And so we're doing an UnCloned brand meetup on August 21st, and it's sold out in 48 hours. So I know that the new business model and the new focus on how we're working is going to work. It's working. And this is how I know this is a sold aligned offer. We had a 53% conversion rate at our conference. Do y'all know how insane? Let me give you the exact number, 52.44% conversion rate at our conference. Okay. We only sold 84 tickets, and on average, we had about 60 to 75 people each day. So that should give you context to how small our event was, and then how many people we got to sign up for the vault. So when I say this offer is like a no-brainer, it is a no-brainer. And that's why anybody who come across it or see it, they're like, oh, I'm going to sign up. This is a deal. They understand it. I could totally charge $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for this program, for the level of value, for the level of support, and for the level of physical things that you get shipped in the mail. I understand it, and I know that. I don't want to charge that because a lot of people ain't at that level yet, right? It's no need for me to charge you so much money when you, as a small business owner, you still trying to figure out how to pay for your trademarks, or how to pay for your website or your brand identity, or how to pay your funnel builder, or whoever the hell you need to spend that money with. Is that making sense, everybody in the chat? Let me know if that is making sense. Okay. And the reason that I'm expressing this and I'm sharing this and I'm putting it on YouTube and I'm putting it across my platforms is because as an organization, we are going to focus on scaling simplicity. You're going to see us do more adventures, more fun things like meetups, dinners, smaller workshops, smaller intensives. But we only got one program. So you can come to our experience and never join the vault, or you can come to one of our experiences and be like, okay, I need to be in the vault. But the vault is going to get better and our experiences are going to get epic. Way, way, way more epic. So another thing that we are excited about is we're going to start creating chapters all over the world, right? So UnCloned chapters all over the world where you'll be able to link up with a trained person who understands the UnCloned brand framework, and they'll be able to help you work through the milestones, especially if you're a vault member. And even if you're not a vault member, you'll be able to come to some of these events and get pre-exposed and introduced to the framework and how it works, and get up close with proximity to be able to do that. So we have tours plans. I'm working on my new book. Like, there's a lot of cool things that's coming, but I wanted to create this video because I wanted to share with you that you can beat to your own drum and win. Okay. You can beat to your own drum and win. Whoever heard that and it meant whatever it meant, I just hope and pray that this video gave you some clarity. It gave you some insight. Maybe it was reflective for some of you all. I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was if you've been here the entire time. And so thank you all so much for joining us for this live stream. But let me see if we have any questions. If you have any questions, now is the perfect time to go ahead and ask your questions. Okay. So if you have any questions, now is the time to go ahead and ask your questions. All right. So I think I seen a question earlier. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's see. No, I wouldn't have changed my path. That's why I said I'm not saying that everybody need to go shut down their business model and get rid of their value ladder. I'm just telling you, I'm done playing those games. Okay, it works. A lot of people who have value ladders, they make hundreds of millions of dollars. It works. But a lot of those people are burnt out. Okay. A lot of those people, trust me, if they hadn't built it up so big, they're in that shit today at 5. Okay. A lot of these jokers are stressed out from having all these programs, from running all of these events, right? Not everybody, but a good portion of people are burnt out. So I'm just telling you, from my perspective, the reason that we simplified our offers and our business, because the data told me we didn't need all these programs. The data told me, why I need to have all of these different levels when everybody is struggling with the same thing? Does that make sense? So for us as an organization, it doesn't make sense to have one program and then another program is a $20,000 difference, but everybody is dealing with the exact same problems. So how about we simplify it, put everybody on the same path, award people in the process for achieving these milestones, help them increase their UnCloned brand score, build an UnCloned brand, and become the obvious choice in their industry. Okay, like that's the goal, that's the focus. So hopefully that answered your question. I don't see any other questions, so I'm not gonna hold you all. But if you feel called to work with us, you can head over to unclonedbrandvault.com. If you want to join us inside of our free community, you can go to uncloned.group. That's uncloned.group. We are definitely thinking about start charging for our community. It's going to be maybe a little flat fee to come inside of our community, but I'm really ready to kind of focus on the serious, the focus, and the people who are done playing games. So I pray that you found value from today's live stream, and until next time, y'all, let's go live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. Bye, y'all.